Good day to one and all. This is Dr. Sivaraman. IKnowIndustries.com. Hope you are able to hear me and also the PowerPoint presentation is visible. Okay, fine. So can you tell me whether I can start the webinar? Probably we need to wait a bit. Okay, I'll start the webinar. Good day to one and all. This is Dr. Sivaraman of IKnowIndustries.com. So I'll be presenting for this week the Asian Session Live Market Analysis webinar. So this webinar consists of three components, namely the forecast, the derived forecast from that of the statistically derived algorithm, and also the market reading, how exactly the market is expected to behave during this particular week. Then I will highlight the importance of the trading strategy rather than that of the forecast in order to consistently earn money from that of the market. So we will first go to the forecast part of it. Now this week, 17th to 21st of August, the market is expected to make the trending move. This is the third week of August. So during the mid-month, they are expected to make the trending move. And this trending move is expected to happen on the upside. So today we are on 17th August. So a dip and the firm up move are expected during that of the Japanese session, followed by that a swing and slide as a week beginning false move. Then afterwards, swing and firm up is expected during that of the US session. Then again tomorrow, they are expected to make a dip and then rise, then swing and slide, and then make for the slide in order to induce the long holders to liquidate the long positions. Then afterwards, Wednesday, they are expected to make a swing and drop. Probably an extended downward stop and might happen during that particular time, because last week they had done it in the case of Australian dollar, but not in the case of Euro or GBP. They have to primarily do it in the case of Euro or GBP. They have done it in the case of Australian dollar and also in the case of CHF. So the main currencies, Euro or GBP, they have to do the extended downward stop and in order to make the upward shift in trading zone. Till this time, they are expected to hover around in the range. So swing and firm up could be seen during the mid-week, and then swing and rise could be seen on that day. Then 20th, they are expected to make this drop and firm up, swing and rise. Then after the rise, they could make a small slide and then swing and firm up on Friday, then slide during that of the European session, and then swing and rise again during that of the US session. So the following week, last week of August, you'll come across the trend reversals. It is not trending. Trend reversal move being the last week of the month of August. They are expected to make either way moves in the market. So as a result, we'll come across in this week, nominal gains could be seen in the case of Euro and GBP, unlike that of the shift in trading zone, unless they do the extended downward stop and the extended upward shift in trading zone might get delayed. So keep that in mind. Then as far as the levels are concerned, now Euro could come down a little bit. From that of 1.0982 currently, 1.1082, they could come down to 1.0875 and the high could be 1.1275. Then GBP 55.25 could be the low. They may not make a deep drop unless and otherwise it is an extended downward stop, and in that case they could come down to about 1.54 area and then go up. Then they got the potential to go up to the 1.58 area. In the case of yen, they could come down to 123 and then go up to 125.75. CHF, they came down last time to 0.9769. So they are likely to come to 97 area and then go up further. Then in the case of Canadian dollar, they were hovering around 30 to 32 level. Slowly they will come down from there to the 29.28 area. In Australian dollar from 0.73, they could go to 74.75 area, finally reach about 76. So slow moves could be seen as a result, unless and otherwise extended downward stopping happens. So if they do the extended downward stopping in the case of euro or GBP using some trigger, you know the definition of downward stopping, extended downward stopping, they drop about 150 pips and then recover in the same day, like how they have done last week in the case of Australian dollar. From that of 73.50 area, they came down to 72.16 and then gained it on the same day to 73.60, 70, 80 like that. So that sort of move, they should do it in the case of euro or GBP, and then the upward shifting trading zone is expected to happen. Then with regard to the market reading technique, now, euro formed the initial low around 3:30 GMT around 1.1092, and which has breached it, and it has formed the new low 1.1082. So they could come down a little bit further because they are holding around 1.1091 below that of 92, and the high was 1.1123. Then in the case of GBP, 1.5641 is the low, they are still holding it. 1.5658 is a high. So they are likely to hold GBP in positive territory and bring down euro. As a result, euro GBP could make a downward move and for the week beginning, and later on they could make the rise. So if you noticed last week, they have been gaining levels in the case of euro, just holding at a lower level like 1.5575 in the case of GBP. Now this time, after gaining the level to 1.1124, they started making the slide in the case of euro, and then they are holding GBP to gain. This way, they are able to handle the European crosses. So you come across the contrarian move, euro is showing negative net change, and GBP is showing positive net change. And also GBP is showing positive net change, and USD CHF is showing positive net change as a contrarian move. Similarly, GBP is showing positive net change, and USD yen is showing positive net change, which is again a contrarian move. Then you find that of GBP is showing positive net change, and Australian dollar showing negative net change. This is again a contrarian move. That means the commodity pairs are showing the USD gaining move, whereas here you come across the mixed move in the case of majors. So they are doing contrarian move during the mid-session, and they are not reached the low or the high in the case of GBP. And in the case of yen, 124.23 is the low, 124.45 is the high. They are not reached the low or the high. And in the case of CHF, 97.59 is the low, 97.80 is the high. They just breached the high and went up to 97.84 and came down below that of 97.80. So that shows that they intend to make a downward move in the case of USD CHF slowly after handling the GBP CHF on the upside. Now they will start making the downward move in the case of CHF when euro is making a downward move as a contrarian move to drop euro CHF. Then USD CAD 3090 is the low and 3110 is the high. They just breached the high 3116. They formed the new high and come down below that 1.1 3110, indicating after the upward stop and they wanted to make a slide along with that of euro drop. Last week when euro was gaining, USD CAD was also gaining as a contrarian move. This time when euro is going to drop and they are going to drop USD CAD also to make a downward move in the case of euro CAD. Then Australian dollar 73.64 is the low and 73.82 is the high. They are not breached the low and the high. So they are handling specific currencies like euro. They just breached the initial low. And afterwards, in the case of CHF, they breached the initial high, come down. And in the case of Canadian dollar, they breached the initial low and staying below. So only these three currencies, they just breached the high or the low, whereas the other currencies, they are just keeping it in hold within the range without breaching the initial high or the initial low. So in these three currencies, they will bring in some more moves during that of the late session. As a result, you will come across more contrarian move to happen in the market. So in our trading strategy, we watch the currencies up to 3:30 GMT and note down the initial lows and the highs. And if they are near the high, not breach the high for 30 minutes of our observation. And then we'll try to take a sell position if it is near high, or a buy position if it is near low, and not breach the low for 30 minutes. And then within the same session, we'll try to close it after keeping 30 pips hedge order. We try to close it with a profit of 45 to 75 pips. And once the position makes profit, we'll keep 25 pips trailing stop and remove the hedge order. As a result, we will be able to limit the risk to nil and also maximize the profit by using a trailing stop as well as that of the trailing limit order. These are all the market timings, so we can make a note of it. Early in the late sessions, they handle the majors. Mid sessions, they handle the crosses. They handle only two currency pairs at a given time. So identify those two currencies they are handling and try to take positions. At the moment they are handling the crosses, don't commit any position. Let them increase the spread between the high and the low to more than 40 pips, and then you try to commit the position. Today they are expected to make the weak beginning falls more on the downside, and later on they are expected to make the gaining moves this week from midweek. Then if you've got any questions, you can ask in the question and answer window or in the chat window. Then I'll come again by tomorrow and give the Tracking the Forex Market Together webinar. Then Thursday, I got an appointment. So I'll be able to come on 24th of August, the next Monday, and give the forecast for the next week. So tomorrow I'll give the Tracking the Forex Market Together webinar. First part will be from 8 to 8:45 GMT, and the second part from 14 to 14:45 GMT. So that from start of the session, 30 minutes after the start of the session, from 7:30 to 8 will be the 30 minutes. Then we'll be able to see whether the market is near the high or near the low and take easily the position. And I will show you how the session-wise trades can be done. Similarly, US session start 30 minutes past the start of the US session. I will take the position and we will be able to see how exactly within the session we will be able to easily book profit, understanding what move they are going to do it in the market. So then we understand market is really and easily predictable. And the only thing is we use different tools so that we are not in a position to predict it. And if you read the intentions of the players are the one handling the market. And if you try to read their intentions, suppose somebody has suddenly become rich and you do not know whether he has really become rich or not. But you know the way in which he spends. he buys his car and also spend the money, automatically it is revealed to the society that he has suddenly become rich, so that he is showing off. In the same way, when the players have got the intentions downward move, which has to be showed in the market, and they cannot keep it totally secret. They have to show it. And before that, they will try to make some cunning moves we can identify and then understand what sort of trade we can do it. So if you could simplify your market reading, then you find you are able to trade along with that of the players without becoming, without being cheated or without fooled by the market moves. So ultimately, you need to understand the intentions of the players. So there are questions coming up in the questions in chat window. Then Vikrant has got a question. Do you think euro will start trending up by month end? Yeah, it is likely to make an upward move. Slowly it will gain momentum, but either GBP or euro, they should make an extended downward stop. And once that is over, you'll find they will consistently gain the levels just like that without trading in certain regions. So you would have noticed that there are certain occasions wherein, say, for example, euro is trading around 1.11, then it will go up to 1.12. We have seen it on Friday. Then after going to 1.12, if they just cross 1.13 and go to 1.14 and not retracing to 1.13, that means 1.12 to 1.13 is a non-trading zone. They will not revisit it. And they will straight go to 1.15, and then from there they will drop it to 1.13. But 1.11, 12 to 1.13, it will become a non-trading zone. And that sort of moves, if you notice, there is a total shift in trading zone. And also, you'll find when they are gaining levels like that, it will be a one-sided gain. And with a big volume, they will try to accumulate higher levels. And traders will think that, okay, it is better to offload all their buy positions. They will offload and see that market goes up further. Then the traders commit distress trades. Yeah, by month end, we should be able to see that quickly they are gaining the levels. Is 20 pips by 3:30 GMT and the higher the low is breached, we wait until the 40 pips spread is created. Yes, we do a technical trade. Yes, if they breach the high, if they set the initial high and breach the high and stay there for more than 30 minutes, you can do a technical trade by making a buy above that of the initial high. If they stay for more than 30 minutes above that of the initial high. Yes. Then Ines got a question. Could USD go above parity by end of this quarter? Yes, it is most likely that it will go up along with that of euro. And surprisingly, you will find that euro CHF will come to 1.10, 1.20, which was considered as the pegged level. For that, they will weaken USD CHF. All along, you would have seen that USD CHF, they have been gaining the level consistently, not retracing much when euro is making a rise. When euro is making a drop, they are making a big rise in the case of USD CHF. But when euro is rising, they are not making corresponding drop in the case of USD CHF, excepting last week, Thursday, when they made a downward extended stop in the case of USD CHF for about 180 pips net change. Then afterwards, they came down to 0.9669 and then started gaining the levels. In Monol, what is exactly meant when you say players do not do the same move twice? If Japanese session we have swing and slide, and London session we have swing and slide. Does that mean that we should expect the swing and rise? Yes, they don't do the hat trick. Hat trick is the one, they repeat the success 3 times. That is called as hat trick. But normally, what the players do is they pretend as if they are going to do a similar move and then do the opposite. They don't do for more than 2 sessions or more than 2 days, more than 2 weeks, more than 2 months, similar moves. Then Aditya, is Australian dollar expected to start trending this week till the month end? Yes, it is expected to make an upward trending move. Then Lam has got a question. Show the weekly projections page. Yeah, I will show that. I will show the forecast page as well as the weekly projections. And share it. Yeah, forecast sheet is shown now. You can take a screen print so that you can use it for the week as a reference material. Then I will show the weekly projections, the expected levels, euro and GBP, and also other currencies, other majors are expected to show in this week. Is there any other question? Okay. Ines, could the Chinese currency acceptance to reserve currency cause a change in players' move? See, players have got their own agenda, and all these sort of market trigger news, they will try to give a knee-jerk reaction, but they will make their own moves. I was telling you when Greece problem was around that they will gain the levels in the case of euro and GBP. And you know that all were waiting for the voting to happen. And at the time, before the voting, they came down in the case of euro to 1.0475. Okay, but during that of the voting and after that, they never visited those levels again. So that is how their agenda is. So if you think that they are going to move in tandem with that of the market expectations, then they cannot make money. If at all they want to make money, they have to pretend as if they are going to make a drop. And then they have to do the reverse. You know, last week, non-farm payroll, week before that, you would have noticed that when the non-farm payroll data was less than expected, everybody was expecting euro and GBP to go up. But they gave some excuse and started making a slide in the case of euro and GBP. Actually, before that of non-farm payroll, they made a false move of quick gain above that of the initial high. And then they started gaining about 70 pips in the case of euro. Then as soon as the data is out, everybody was expecting euro to continue making an upward move, but they made the drop. Then people thought that, okay, it is a risk aversion, I think. So they are going to drop. But later on, they started gaining the levels. And whatever the high they showed as a false move before that of the data release, they reached and closed it around that level for the weekend. So that is the capabilities of the players. So the players should not make the move in line with that of the expectations of the traders. Only then they can make money. So what do you expect out of Chinese outcome? Then they should not do that. Okay, please move the small window. Okay, fine. Hope the levels are visible and also the forecast sheet is shown. Okay. Then there are for more questions. Will the USD CAD drop this week? Yeah, USD CAD from that of tomorrow is expected to come down to 1.2850 area. And they may come down maximum 1.27 and started gaining the level upward again. So don't think that in line with that of euro rise, they will drop correspondingly USD CHF. They will drop to a certain extent and start gaining the levels in the case of USD CAD along with that of euro and GBP. Then Shelton, euro and GBP are expected to rise in this week. Yes, from Wednesday, they are expected to gain the level. They will just make the week beginning false move till then. Okay, Manal, this week expected downward stop and yes, they are expected to make sudden downward extended stop and anytime before Wednesday. Once that is done, then the gaining will be a one-sided move. So watch for it. Once that is over, they had done it in the case of Australian dollar beforehand and they want to gain it further. They will not make for the big downward move in the case of Australian dollar. But you have to wait for euro and GBP to anyone to make such extended downward stop and then they will make consistent rise and shift in trading zone. Otherwise, they will make anyhow rise, but the rise will not be very significant. It will be range bound, similar to that of last week or the week before. Then Sherlon, thank you, sir. Your webinars and strategy is really helpful. Okay, thank you. Then Vinay, what will be the ideal position for long in euro? So when euro comes to 1.0950 and below, watch and try to take buy position as a position trade. When they are holding in near the initial low, don't try to accumulate more position. When they make one quick downward move, then try to take. No, normally they will make a knee-jerk reaction during the gap time or during session start time, an extended downward stop, and at that time, once they stop cutting the new low and take the buy, you will find that quickly it makes a profit, and you will be able to easily keep stop at entry, and then it will continue to make the rise. JBB also they are expected to, it appears JBB is stronger than euro, but suddenly they will make one extended downward stop and using some trigger. No, the speech of the governor or anything can be used, and they will simply make such moves. Then how about Euro GBP cross? Euro GBP cross, at the moment they are handling it. And as you see that Euro is showing negative net change, GBP is showing positive net change. As a result, Euro GBP is showing negative net change because GBP is stronger when compared to Euro. The denominator, when it is strong, when compared to that of the numerator, it will be negative net change. This is a simple arithmetic mean value. So once they start making a downward move to probably 0.7025 or 35, they will start gaining the levels. They may not go to 69, 68 levels again. Any for buying long term, that is plus 6 months through bank, that is no leverage. Okay, that is currency conversion. Which yen cross do you recommend? Okay, as far as the currency conversion is concerned, you're asking about the yen crosses. Yen crosses already they just gained the levels. Yen crosses Say around that 136 is good to buy Euro Yen, and GBP Yen could be bought around that of 90-91 level, but now they gained already 300 pips. So during that of the extended downward stop, they could make such a move and then accumulate. When it is very weak, you won't feel like buying. Once they gain the levels, you regret that you could have taken the buy and you ask whether it will come down again. So this is a normal trader's tendency. No, and but when they are making the drop, if you question yourself, okay, they are dropping it for what purpose? To accumulate buy positions. They also buy. How to identify when to buy or at what level to buy. Then once they stop cutting the new low for 30 minutes to 2 hours, then if you take a buy, that will be a real bottom fishing. That is what I have been telling all along. Try to do the bottom fishing without any market fear. And I am not keep asking you to keep away from the market when before the data release, etc. Because they are all great trading opportunities. We should be able to grab it. And when they make a false move before that of the data release, and they make such quick moves, then you try to buy when they make a drop and sell when they make a rise. After the data release, you will find the exact opposite. They are going to do it again and again. I am showing you beforehand. And if you get convinced, then probably do such smart trades. Then you will find that you are able to really get rid of the market fear. Okay. Then Shelton. Euro has already reached 40 pips spread. We may have an opportunity to trade it at a late Japanese session. Yes. During the late Japanese session, when they breach the initial low, then probably you can take a buy once they stop cutting the new low for more than 30 minutes. So I'll come back by tomorrow and show you all the slides and also the tracking the forex market together webinar. So I'll show that of the forecast slide and also the levels and market reading by showing the initial lows and the highs of tomorrow. And before you, I will just take the positions by during that of the part 1 of the webinar and show you the results during that of part 2 of the webinar and commit positions during that of part 2 also. So that way you'll be able to really understand how the forecast, market reading and trading strategies are to be used to make consistently money from that of the market. No more losing the money in the market. Thank you one and all. Wish you all happy trading.